Don Jr., Captain Ineptitude, and he tried to hawk his passion project on Twitter again, but of course it backfired epically. Yeah, the president's first known son, well, he posted this. Yes, I'm publishing a non-woke men's lifestyle magazine. Check it out, subscribe today, before he posted a link. Other than that terrible cover, here's what the magazine is actually about. So the magazine Field Ethos has been in circulation since last year and has already issued its 5th edition. Readers can buy individual magazines for $20 or subscribe annually for $60 and receive 4 magazines. According to its website, Field Ethos brings back a forgotten lifestyle to those who refuse to conform, with articles on hunting, fishing, and more by old school adventurers who make no apologies for who we are. Now, the magazine solicits stories from its users, but it clearly states it has some guidelines. This is on the website. We are not looking for how-to articles or stories about how your hunting dog was the best there ever was. Give us your story told in the same voice you'd use with your buddies around a campfire after a few beers. I'm sure not Bud Light. Well, speaking to the Washington Examiner about his venture, Don Jr. said this. Most people see me as a businessman, a figure in the political world, and a family man. While I certainly love all of these things, I also feel the need to work on a passion project in the world of hunting, fishing, and adventure. Now, there were Twitter users who were already having a field day with this, his passion project. One user responded, "We all know what the opposite of woke is, unconscious." Another said, I try not to think this way, but isn't it weird that the conservative men talking about bringing manliness back are the biggest wusses in the world? Dude shoots endangered animals from cars and considers himself a hunter. Yeah, Non-Woke magazine is not the only book project Don Jr. is currently involved in though. Donald Trump's eldest son is also behind Winning Team Publishing, which earlier this year released the former president's book, Letters to Trump, and is set to publish titles by Fox News personality Jeanine Pirro and failed Arizona GOP gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake. But of course, we've got much, much better book recommendations. Check this one out. Yeah, it's Cenk Uygur's Justice is Coming. Cenk.
I'd like to get justice for those poor animals that Trump slaughtered, Eric and Donald Jr. Yeah, I don't think it's manly when you say, hey, you know what? I've got this massive unfair advantage. I'll circle around this endangered species that has no idea what's going on in my vehicle and then shoot it with high-powered weapons, and that'll show how tough I am. Will it? Is that how you show you're tough? Look, to be fair to Don Jr. though, I never understood any of those lifestyle magazines. And they've been around forever, and I've always thought they were super goofy. And there's a lot of different kinds of lifestyle magazines for men. There's the old school ones that smelled of rich mahogany, and they're like, oh, this is what a real man does. He buys this very expensive watch and drinks this very expensive bourbon on his very expensive desk. And I'm like, does he? Is that what a real man does? And that was like mainstream, right? And then by the way, at one point, they all switched and it became like Men's Health, and we weren't buying desks made of mahogany anymore. Now we were all getting jacked and having like weird veins pop out of every muscle that we had, and real men were all talking about how hot their bodies were to one another, and and then they were like, oh, you got to wear like just no shirt ever in order to be a real man. I'm like, how about you guys leave us alone and we just real men by ourselves? Okay, so this is in a long line of men's lifestyles advice that I could do without. That's my sense of it. RM, what do you think?
No, absolutely. I love the point about men's magazines in general. Like if you flip through Esquire or GQ, they just kind of assume you're a millionaire soccer player or something, you know? Totally. I don't know why. Like, oh yeah, I can drop $5,000 on a watch, easy, no problem. But yeah, I don't know. I like that. It's interesting that these guys are trying to do this like parallel economy thing. Like you have the Daily Wire making their own chocolate and stuff. But if you look at all these products, like with the chocolate, it's like a 10x markup. It's the same exact as a thing as a Hershey bar, but it's just a 10x markup. So I feel like this magazine, it's going to cost like $80 per issue or whatever, probably, which shows you what they kind of think of their fans, you know. But I don't know. I you know, it's terrible, but I kind of I'm tempted to jump on this grift, you know, just start calling companies woke, and we'll just start our own, you know, we'll just start and say, oh, this is non-woke, I don't know, Baby Bell cheese or something, and charge $90 for it or something, you know.
$90. Okay, but there is a real reason for the parallel economy, and it's actually interesting. So let me tell you guys why that's happening. It's not just a right-wing thing. It's actually the fault of advertisers, because advertisers have kind of shut out all of news and politics. They're like, oh, look, we can't tell who's right or wrong. I mean, one side says that Black Lives Matter and the other side says they don't. Who am I to figure it out? No, so I'm Coke, I'm Nike, I don't want any piece of it. To be fair to Nike, they made it very clear which side they were on, and it helped their business tremendously. The reason why so since the advertisers don't want to sponsor anything related to news and politics because they haven't made up their mind about whether racism or non-racism is the right way to go, it forces people that are in news and politics to sell their own stuff. And so that's real. So we do it too. And so like we do twostrongcoffee.com/TYT. We'll put the link down below. Why? Because that's the one way that we can actually get products to you guys without the middlemen of advertisers, and they're incredibly, and from our perspective, they're incredibly conservative positions, right? And then Starbucks kind of proved us right by being terrible to their employees, et cetera. But so why are there more right-wingers doing that? Because to be honest, the right-wingers were the first ones that advertisers didn't want to touch. So why didn't the advertisers want to touch the right-wingers? Because they're all progressives? No, they're all economically conservative. They want to maximize profit. And Nike, for example, correctly deduced that there was more profit in being against racism and being in favor of people like Colin Kaepernick who were fighting against racism, because most of their customers are young, and young people are very, very progressive. So they made a logical market-based decision. And so people like that don't want to actively, they have chosen a side, the right side, the side where most of the customers are. And they say, no, I don't want to advertise on Alex Jones or Tucker Carlson, who says all these crazy things and hateful things, because that's not good for my business. And then that's why Alex Jones goes, oh, I got a great idea, I'll sell my own stuff. This will make your brain larger. Now, why did he go with brain pills? Like literally, that's one of his products. Why did he go with brain pills? Because he thought, my audience doesn't think that they're that smart, and I don't think they're that smart, so I'm gonna sell them brain pills. What's his #1 selling product? Penis pills. To make your penis larger. Okay.
That's right.
And so, and there's a giant, and I'll say one more thing, guys. There's a giant difference between how the right wing does it, and I would say how the left wing does it, but I don't know that there's a lot of left wingers doing what we do. So for example, when we started Too Strong Coffee, we were meticulous. We took so long to figure out exactly how to do it right. It's fair trade, it's organic, it's the best coffee, et cetera. And I'm doing a little bit of an ad, but in reality, we picked it because we thought it was the best tasting coffee that was done in a humane and the best way that we could possibly do it, right? The right wing's like, which one's the cheapest? Yeah, let's take that one and pretend it's like the best or something and charge maximum amount. Our customers gonna check in on it? Yeah, they'll check in on it after they take their brain pill.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the parallel economies are inevitable, you know, with like you were talking about with sort of mainstream advertisers and all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely do see with the right wingers and like the way that they're sourcing this stuff and the way they're packaging it and selling it and the way they're marking it up seems a little much. It seems a little much to me, but you know, who knows? But I think it's a good point. I think maybe, you know, if people who, you know, speak their minds like we do on the internet, you know, we might have a hard time getting advertisers. And yeah, I think we should probably sell our own stuff too. I think it makes sense as long as it's reasonably priced and it's not you know, we're not gouging people or in the case of these like Daily Wire and all these people selling it on some weird, creepy, sexist and racist angle. I don't think it's, you know, I think it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, you don't have to do a lifestyle men's magazine where you tell people how to murder innocent animals. Like you can do other products, right?
Totally.
Right, I mean, and look at their publishing company, their letters to Trump. Since Trump can't write, they're like, okay, why don't we take letters that people wrote to you, and then you can scribble on the side 1 or 2 words, max 1 or 2 sentences. Like this guy, good guy, supported Trump. Didn't like this guy, got this letter, but hate him, not favor Trump. Okay, like literally the book, we covered it earlier, okay? And they're like, nailed it, okay? Meanwhile, Justice is Coming, filled with facts. There's like 30 pages of endnotes because I'm like, I'm not gonna get questioned on anything. And we went through like 18 different fact checks, and I have devastating facts in there. So you could actually do products that are good products. tyt.com/justice to pre-order now. I like the irony of that. Link also down below, okay? You can sell your own stuff and actually make it good. I know, revolutionary. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.